we've got here is
real wrath of God type stuff.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the stars.
River, seas boiling.
40 years of dark earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Hysteria.
Start sometime. What better time than now?
Paramerican Radio starts right now.
Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chad Kalick here, sitting with Justin Holstein.
Hello.
And our cameraman, Steve Zilberman.
What up?
Who will also become a personality on the Paramerican Radio Show, which this is not an actual episode, but this is the test on the mic equipment and the mixer and all those things. If there's levels that go around and jump around and all that stuff, don't worry about it. We're going to get all this stuff ironed out. But, you know, more than anything, we just want to take a run and kind of feel what this is going to be like. We all took a long flight over here because when I say over here, I guess I haven't pointed out where we're at. We are in Sydney, Australia, which is Steve Zilberman's first time in Sydney, Australia.
Yep.
How did you enjoy the flight, Steve?
The flight was not that bad.
Yeah, it was, you know, it's funny when it started, it was me, and I'm not a small guy, we'll just say that. And Justin was sitting right next to me, and then it was Steve. And I've known Justin for almost 30 years, and I can see in Justin's face in 2 fucking seconds what he's thinking. And the whole time he's thinking, fuck this shit. I got Chad all over me. He looked miserable. Justin looked really fucking miserable.
I'm thinking 15 hours of this. Like, I can handle. I've done it for 3 hours before, but a 15 or 16 hour, however long that is, flight of that. And I'm so glad that lady walked up and she's like, you know what, guys, you're going to be a lot more comfortable if you want to move up here. The odd part is I moved up there, and that lady was laying across all 3 seats, right?
Yeah.
And now imagine you're just getting tired. You're laying across all 3 seats, and somebody says, "Excuse me, miss, you're going to have to move over or whatever." So
she wasn't happy.
She's like, "What's going on?"
She's like, "Fuck this."
And I'm like, you know, I'm just sitting next to. So I got no space back there, so she moved me up here, and she's like, she doesn't know what to say. She's like, "Well, my leg. I just had surgery on my leg, and I bought 2 seats." And I go, "Well, that's fine. You can have those 2 seats. I'm fine. You know, if you want to stick your feet up or whatever." And she's like. So the rest of the flight, she's just moving around going, you know, just nonstop. And I'm trying to ignore her. I have my headphones on. I'm trying to just like, shut up. You know, she's driving me nuts, man.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, a lot of people don't know this. Little people don't know this when you're
oh my God, guys, there's a weird fucking bug in here, man.
Oh, wow.
Is that it's a flying cockroach.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's just a water bug.
That's a flying cockroach, man.
Shit. Hold on a second.
Yeah, please, guys.
Uh-oh, guys. We're in it's an old building that's been renovated that is literally, right up to the water. So all around us is, I guess, beach and bushland. So we did not rent a cockroach-infested place, so I don't know where that came from.
No, it was it just flew,
it flew from outside, yeah. So anyways, what I was saying is, you know, when you're a bigger guy like me, there are things that you get used to in life that after a while, you start out caring when you're younger, and then you don't care when you're older because you just dealt with it so much, just like, I don't care. And one of those things is the oh shit face. And every time I get on a plane and I look to see who I'm sitting by, they have the oh shit face because they know 330 pounds are fixing to plop down right next to you. And you know, I'm very broad shouldered. So my arms always go like a quarter into the seat next to me. So I felt for you, Justin. I could tell right away. You had your head in your hands within like 2 minutes. And I was thinking Holstein is miserable. Honestly, I was so glad when you moved because I was thinking, we're way too close to each other. We're going to fight. We're going to fight before this plane lands, you know? But Steve and I, man, we crashed out like babies.
Yeah.
Like, once you moved, we were like, woo.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, I had space.
I had part of my body in the seat that you left.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was perfect.
So, I'm glad you made the move. Because she asked me, she was like, do you want to move up there? And I was thinking, for what?
Oh, imagine
No matter
you
where I
sharing-
move, you're right. It's like, whoever I sit next to, they're going to look miserable as Justin. You
That
know
was
what
the
I
whole
mean?
point, though. She was saying you wouldn't move next to somebody. You would have an open seat next to you.
Right, but what I'm saying is, even if there's an open seat next to me, the person that had it open before I came would have looked at me miserably.
Oh,
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
the same way the girl looked at you, like,
Yeah.
what the heck, So I was just like, I knew you would move. I was like, okay, just don't move. Anyways, the flight landed. Look, we're in town because we are promoting Sir No Face, a documentary produced by Mr. Holstein. Executive produced by the executive producer of the show. Big shout out to Thomas Lee Bottom, who is in no small part a driving force behind the creation of Paramerican Radio as well. And it is Sir No Face is a documentary directed by yours truly. My third, I guess, paranormal feature. Dare I say the best as far as I think paranormal activity goes. This is probably out of all the films we've made, American Ghost Hunter, A Blood Red Sky, and this, I think this is the most pure ghost story. This is pretty much a ghost story. This is, Craig and his team were, his name's Craig Powell. He and the West Sydney Paranormal Research Team, that's who we're visiting. It is a film about the Australian government commissioned this gentleman, Craig Powell, who lives out here, and his paranormal team to do an investigation of Cockatoo Island, which is an island in the harbor of Sydney Harbor. Just a floating island. That's an old military base. It's an old prison, a former child's reformatory. And the place had just tons of reports of hauntings. And Craig and his team went out there and spent 2 years. And when I'm talking about this, guys, like, this is true story, to be clear here. This is not mockumentary shit. This is not, this happened. And they filmed this exceptional footage of a ghost, of what we believe to be a ghost. And I say that, it's funny. People always say, well, I'd have to see that to believe it. My response is always, yeah, you do got to see this film. You have to see it to believe it. But the cool thing about this is we took this on a 17-city tour through the United States. Yeah. It was our largest tour we've ever done. We brought Craig over for that. And so what's really special about this return here is this film was filmed here. So this is the first time we've ever been back here. And 2 out of our 3 shows are sold out. I think the third will be sold out by the time we start. And I'm really excited to play to crowds this big over here. First time to crowds this big over here, huh, fellas?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
More than a ghost story, I always saw this as like a CSI person story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really getting to the bottom of who are these people. I mean, because you can sit there and debate whether evidence is real or not. Again,
right.
in this day and age, just like part of the film when you're trying to basically show through the CGI people that, ultimately, if you spend enough time and money, you could make almost anything you wanted to look. But again, did they do that or not? And
well, that's what's really interesting about this film is I knew going into it, because my stance in the film was my very real stance in life. I wanted to see if they faked it. I wanted to, really, really see if it was possible and if they did it. And I always looked at it as a 2-prong approach, Justin. I looked at it like, okay, we got to do the CSI part, right? Which is figuring out how could they have faked it? Who was on the island? When were they there? Can we backtrack and prove all this stuff? But the other aspect of it is just, who are these people as people? Who are they as individuals? Because that's a big part of fakery. Like, in order for Craig to have faked this, he would have to be willing to meet me, befriend me, meet my family, friends, everybody else, and say, I'm going to try to put this guy's entire career on the line and trick him into doing this, knowing he's going to dump time, energy, effort, money, this whole team of people. He's met you, Thomas, he's met everybody. Yeah. So it was like, what kind of individual could do this? And is Craig that guy? And I don't want to give too much away because, the film isn't out yet. But the film really delves hard into that. What kind of individual would fake this stuff? And look, through my years of being in the paranormal, I've been around some fakers. And the one thing I can tell you is that as people, I was not shocked when I learned the guys that faked. Like, pretty much in the real life scenario, if you can see it. You can see how that sketchy motherfucker would do that. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm really excited about this film for. But this is also Steve's first time ever here to Australia. And we were just talking about the food here as to whether or not the food was better here. And my stance was, look, I love you, Australia. I love you to death. I do not think the food in Australia is better than the food in America. And Justin staunchly disagreed. Why did you disagree, Justin?
Well, okay, first of all, I think there's always going to be food like language is going to be different from place to place, and it reflects the culture and everything. Part of, experimenting with food, eating different food in different places is kind of adopting what their food is they eat. Like when we got off the plane, remember?
Culturally, sure.
Craig brought us Tam. What is it?
Tim Tams.
Tim
Yeah,
Tams.
they're like these little chocolate cookies everybody around here freaks out about. You're supposed to put them in coffee or hot chocolate and suck the coffee hot chocolate through them. And they're like a big deal over here. It's kind of like Vegemite, which is horrible. Oh, God. Have you ever tried Vegemite? It's brutal.
Wait, the cookie's like a straw? Or
No,
you drink
well,
it from...
it's like a cookie wafer.
Oh, and you soak it in. And...
Yeah, you can suck air through it. So they put it in their coffee and their hot chocolate. And yeah, it's a big deal around here. Every time I've come here, I've gotten bags of Tim Tams and people freak out about them. I always get that, and I get a little thing of Vegemite, man. If you've never had Vegemite, it's an acquired taste, man. I mean, because it tastes like, you ever had, Steve?
Yeah, of course. Wait,
Straight
why do you
salt.
get it every time?
Straight salt. People give it to me as gifts.
Oh.
Yeah, so it just tastes like straight salt. The first time I ever had Vegemite, I didn't know. I thought it was like peanut butter or something, right? So I literally stuck my finger in it and just wedged. I mean, I'm talking, 3-4 good ounces of Vegemite. Licked it off the finger and got it halfway down my throat before I realized how brutally powerful that shit was.
Yeah.
And dude, it was all I could do. The rest of the day, all I could taste was Vegemite. I would drink something, the aftertaste, Vegemite. I would burp, Vegemite. It was just so gross.
Dude, it was awesome because Steve really liked Vegemite on tour.
I have 2 bottles at home.
Wow.
Well, one of them's done. I'm working on the second.
Well,
and I figured out the trick. The trick is you got to use a really small amount. You have to use more butter than Vegemite.
Wow.
Yeah, butter and bacon. Thing is, you cover it with butter and bacon, and the Vegemite tastes amazing.
It'd be great, right. Which makes no sense, right? Exactly. But no, the reason it's funny. I said to Justin, and I haven't been all over the world, but I've been a few places. I've been, to England and Ireland and Italy and Mexico, Canada, Australia, a couple other places I'm sure I'm not thinking of. And when I think of Australia, I think of great moments and memories I had. I don't think of meals. I can't think of, and I've eaten at some great places that people say are amazing. And whenever Thomas and I are traveling too, we always like to try to find, good restaurants to eat at. And there was nothing here that left me floored as far as the meals go. But but I'm saying this is a good way because what I always remember about Australia, honestly, are the people. I love the people here. There's an energy here. There's a zest for life. People are just happy. They're always joking and kind of ribbing you. I always say the Australians are kind of like the Irish with manners. The Irish will give you a hard time and walk up right in front of your wife or your girlfriend and start hitting on her and then start, making fun of you as they're hitting on her. And it's funny to them. It's like, yo, dude, that's my chick you're hitting on, And where they wouldn't necessarily do that here, you know what I mean? But they'd still give you a hard time in front of your girl. They wouldn't cross certain lines. And I've had some amazing experiences here with the people.